Hello Darts Nutz, welcome to Darts Review channel. In this video I'm going to be checking out the Black Edition NX90. Now the NX90 is quite a favourite model of mine and I've probably influenced quite a lot of people by recommending it to many. Many people do like it. It just seems to be one of them good all-rounder darts. So let's check it out. I'm reviewing the 23 gram version, the 90% tungsten. They're in 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 26 gram in steel tip, 18 and 20 gram in soft tip, and the retail for £39.95. So the darts come in this cardboard packaging and you've got a close-up picture of the grip on the back. Inside you've got a plastic inlay holding the darts and they're in a little pointer holder, and they come fitted with the super grip in between, or tweeny midi nylon stems, and you've got the NX90 small standard black edition flights. That's fitted with a black coated point and it's a tapered style barrel. Obviously you've got a fairly long front taper and then a mostly parallel section. It looks as if there's a slight difference in thickness around where the rings are there, but it could be just an optical illusion. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell till I get the calipers on, and I can't remember from the other review whether it was or not. So it may well be just a parallel section there, but it kind of looks as if it's slightly tapered. And as you can see, it's a mix of different ring grip styles. So you got like wide single flat rings and then triple rings quite close together and almost like a micro grip but widely spaced, and then you've got a mix of like wide rings and the single ring and groove, and then a little bit of a mix of the two on the end. But I've been using the original NX90s quite a while, and there you go as a quick look. Right, so I've got a picture of the silver 22 gram NX90 and the black 23 gram. They're both the same length, and if you look closely, I did think the front on the black is a little bit less grippy, and I think the grooves on the silver one look as if, well, to me, my eyes, they look as if they're a little bit deeper on the silver part. But then as you go along to where the three rings, thin rings are, they look a little bit deeper on the black darts. So there's definitely some difference there. And if you look at that thin ring on the black one before you get to the first wide band, it's thinner than the ring that's on the silver one. And I think, yeah, it looks to me like maybe the black bands are a little bit thinner as well, and the rings in between slightly thinner and the grooves slightly wider, but definitely deeper. So I think on the black version it's a little bit more grippy on the mid and rear. So there you go. Like I said, they've been quite a nice dart, these, even though it's not really a dart I'd probably normally get. So obviously if you like them and you fancy the black version, then there you go. And they come fitted with the super grip stems and the NX90 black edition flights. So you got a kind of a slightly, I would say, curved tapered nose that's smooth, and then a ring grip with kind of like flattish curved grooves in between, but the distance between the rings kind of varies, so it's not exactly the same all the way along, so it just changes a little bit. And then you've got these sections of kind of micro ring grip. Is it 1, 2, 4 sections there, and again some wide space grooves in between, and then some single thin, almost like knife edge rings interspersed with some slightly wider, almost like a scallopy ring. If you look, there's a slight curve to the ring there. It's always a bit hard to get it into perfect focus when you're doing this, but I think you can probably see it. And that is mostly around the midsection, and then just a couple of them triple thin micro style rings at the end, and then a smooth taper on the very end of the barrel. So that's the super close look at the Harrows NX90 Black Edition. That's a fit with a black coat 28mm point. You've got a kind of a curved tapered nose, 4mm, then some wide space thin ring grip, 10.2mm, and then you've got this section of 4 triple rings, total 9mm, and then a mix of thin rings and wide rings, 18mm, and then you've got some more of the triple rings, 5.4mm, a smooth taper on the end of the barrel, 3.4mm, length is 50mm, and widest is 7mm. $22.96 grams. 22.95 grams. 22.93 grams. Full setup 24.67 grams. Here's the balance with nothing attached and with the supplied setup, and this is the balance with medium in between short nylon stems and standard flights. I've checked and compared with the silver ones quite a bit now, and I think the black ones are a little bit less grippy at the front and maybe just a little bit more grippy around the mid to rear section, so 7.5 at most. Alright, just a few throws. My arm's very stiff today. I've been to the physio today about my arm. He said he doesn't really recommend getting a steroid injection yet, so he's given me some different exercises to do for about 3 or 4 months, and then we'll see how it goes. But there you go. Oh, I'm pretty sure these darts are maybe just a fraction less grippy than the silver version. I've got the originals on the table here, and I just had a little throw with them before just to see if I could gauge if there was a difference, and I think these are definitely a little bit less grippy. But it's still a very nice dart though, and one that I think can work for any, really. It's just one of them unusual darts that you might not think it's going to suit you, but when you get to throw them, for whatever reason, they just feel good. So, but I think, like I said, the other ones just had a slight bit more grippiness, and it could be just down to the coating. But let's have another look at the barrel. It's hard to be sure, but it looks like on the front section where I hold it, it looks as if the grooves are a bit deeper on that one. So, like I say, maybe the coating is just taking some of it away. But as you move along to the rear of the barrel, the black one looks as if that's a little bit more grippy, so deeper cut. So let's just have another try of that there. So on the rear section there, yeah, I think the rear on the black ones is possibly a little bit grippier, but there's not a huge difference in it. I'll just have a try from the mid section. Well, at least they're all almost grouped together. Let's try it right at the end of the barrel on the rear part. But obviously, like a lot of people always say, they're not always a fan of a black coated dart because all coatings wear, and I think a lot of people are of the opinion that black coatings are the ones that wear the worst, just because of the nature of them. Obviously you chip them and then it reveals the silvery tungsten underneath and what have you, but the thing is, no dart is going to look as good as when it's out of the box after you've used them, even for a few hours. So every coating's going to wear. It just depends on what you deem acceptable for you personally, and some people will say I don't like coatings because of that reason, but then again, these ones without the coating, and they're all dinged and battered, so like I say, they're never going to look as good as new. So it's just down to your own preference. But I often think a black dart has a sleek look to it, and I am a fan of the gold coloured titanium coating, but I always think that kind of adds a little bit to the touch and the feel. But like I say, everyone's different. It's down to what you like and what feels right to you. But in terms of the darts themselves, it's a good dart, I think, the NX90, and it's one that I think will suit a range of people. And like I say, I wasn't expecting it to suit me, and yet it's become one of my favourite darts. So there you go. So you fancy him in another colour, then there you are. So I'll leave you with the gallery so you can have a close look at them, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy darting.